Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another Viva-Mundo webinar. Today we are traveling all the way to sunny California with the lovely Lajnim Yang, who will be conducting the webinar today and giving you some more information about UCSC Extension program. And it'll be interesting to hear more from California and how and why you should travel to study there. Now, a little bit about us, Viva-Mundo. We are here to help you essentially with any advice that we could possibly give you in regards to study abroad. So whether that be visa advice, location advice, even COVID advice with things going on right now around the world, that's what we're here to help you out with. Now we obviously ask if you can ask a question, please do. We do encourage the audience to interact with us throughout the whole webinar. We have a Q&A box in the bottom of your screen where you can ask a question throughout the whole webinar, and we will get to them right at the very end of the webinar. All right, that's enough from me. I'm going to hand you over to Lally.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I'm very happy to meet all of you representing UC Santa Cruz Extension. And so I will be talking about what are certificate programs and are they right for me? Many international students are not aware of this option, which is often a lot more affordable. It's more practical, and its intentions are to get you the right jobs and the right job experience that you want to take either home or to continue in the US. So today's objective, I'm going to also talk a little bit about COVID and vaccinations, provide some updates for you guys there in preparation for your studies. And then I'll get into what is the difference between a master's degree and a postgraduate certificate program, and which will make most sense for my career as aspirations. Then I'll finally talk a little bit more about our certificate programs, the structure, what types of jobs the students often get, where they work, and go into some of the costs of the certificate programs, including the cost of living in Silicon Valley, and then into who are your instructors and classmates, how do you get OPT, what types of jobs you can expect after completing the program, and the internship opportunities that we also provide. So travel bans for international students have been lifted in the United States, although travel is still prohibited for a lot of the countries listed here on the right. Although the travel is restricted for these countries, international students can still come and study in the US and get entry. So as of a month ago, the travel bans have been lifted. So because international students are considered a national interest. And so there should be no issues entering the United States. However, the challenge is getting an appointment at the embassy. And so I want to provide you guys just some information about what's going on right now with embassies and consulates. There's roughly 270 US embassies worldwide, and 70 are under a 30-day waiting period. So if you make an appointment at one of these 70 embassies, then you can get an appointment with under 30 days. Within the 70, many are within one country, such as Mexico. Mexico, I think, has 3 or 4. And then a majority are emergency appointment only. And then roughly 20% have 60 to 600 day waiting periods. And so the 20% is still pretty small. And then for the regions of Latin America, I think there's a lot of embassies that are in work and that you can make appointments with. And if you are an international student or you're expecting to go study in the US, you can get an emergency appointment. So Currently, the US is in one of the top 6 nations with the highest vaccination rates. Number 1 being Israel, but the US now currently is at a 49% vaccination rate, which is pretty good. By fall, we'll surpass 50% for sure. We're already very, very close to that. And vaccinations in the US are extremely easy to get. As soon as you arrive, there's going to be no quarantine process for internationals. However, as a UCSC student, you are going to be expected to be vaccinated. And you can get vaccinations almost anywhere. Who can get vaccinated? Everyone ages 12 and older. Where can you get vaccinated? Again, almost any local pharmacy, drugstore, the university, hospitals or clinics, and even some grocery stores are offering vaccinations. Do you need to be a US citizen to get vaccinated? The answer is no. And do you need US health insurance? They will often ask for your health insurance, but you do not need to have health insurance and you do not need to provide them health insurance. You can just say, I don't have any health insurance, and that's totally fine. The vaccines in the US are Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. The effective rates are very good. So Pfizer has a 95% effective rate, Moderna at 94.1, Johnson & Johnson at 72%. And as of today, in California specifically, more than 50% of the population has been vaccinated. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between a master's degree and a professional certificate. And then I'll talk a little bit more about UCSC Santa Cruz in general and the certificate programs that we have and the opportunities that might be available to you. So with a master's degree, the GRE, GMAT is often required, where the professional certificate, there is absolutely no testing requirements. The master degree takes an average of 2 years to complete, while the professional certificate will take 6 to 9 months to complete. With both options, you will receive 1 year OPT minimum, while the master's degree, if you do a STEM master's degree, there's a potential to get 2 years of OPT. So that's the only difference in regards to OPT. Certificate courses are focused on actionable practical skills that you need to work in a particular industry, where the master degree is often more interested in producing graduates with a deep and broad understanding of their industry and the world as a whole. So the master degree will go deeper into theory and research, while the certificate will just provide you what's the latest skill sets you need to do your job. And this is particularly true in fields like data science, data analytics, and a number of other tech-related occupations. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So a master's degree, you can think of it as an intense study, often 30 credit hours or more, and can also lead then to more studying, higher level, doctorate level type of work, where the certificate programs are about getting you in and out as quickly as possible with the credentials that you need to do the work that you want to do. All right. So what can you expect to learn from a UCSC certificate program? Well, the nice thing is that we are located in the heart of Silicon Valley. And Silicon Valley, if you don't know, is the #1 tech hub of the world. And so it's home to a number of brands and startups, which you probably already know, such as Facebook, Google, Intel, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and many more. And because of that, because of our location, all of our instructors work within the, our professionals working within the area. And they then are up to speed with what's the hottest skill sets needed, and which jobs and which roles are highest in demand, and which of these can then be filtered through a certificate program. If you don't know already, the University of California, Santa Cruz is a very prestigious and premier U.S. public institution. We're ranked very well in our research and academia. The certificates are ideal for anyone who wants to improve their career opportunities and earning potential. So oftentimes our students are adults, roughly about 25 years in age, all the way to 50 or 60 years in age. Sometimes they're career changers. It's very flexible. And that's part of the reason too why certificates are becoming a lot more popular in the US as an alternative to a master's degree. So the speed at which academics are changing so quickly and the skill sets needed in the job workforce are changing so quickly that institutions, universities really need to provide a quicker way to credential students and get them into the workforce. Our programs are generally 9 to 12 months, the majority being 9 months long of study, and then 1 year OPT in the US. Again, with Silicon Valley, it's a great multicultural experience. So I'll talk a little bit more about our diversity. And we also provide a lot of wraparound services, such as a student and community development course to help you get adjusted, meet new international students, and start your journey. So living in the Bay Area is a very unique and interesting place to be. Again, we're located in the South Bay, or I'll talk a little bit about the different areas. You have the South Bay, East Bay, North Bay, San Francisco, and what they call the peninsula. All of that is a large part of Silicon Valley. And you have a lot of wineries in the North Bay, and the vast majority of the tech industries located in South Bay and Peninsula and San Francisco. So students at UCSC Extension, about 43% come from the Asia Pacific region, while 25% will be from North America or Central America, and about 35% are then rest of the world. And so we're really looking to further increase our rest of world population. We have 5 areas of study. We actually have the most certificate programs of any University of California. These areas are bioscience, education, business, technology, and design. 20 of these certificates are eligible for international students, and then 25 certificates overall, of which can be completed as a secondary program. And so I'll talk a little bit more about what's then the eligible certificate program, what's the secondary program. In addition, we have 18 specializations as well, which can be completed as part of your secondary program track. So the duration of the program is 9 months, or roughly, or 3/4. And there's 30 units which you can use to complete whatever certificates and secondary programs you want. The price is between $11,300 and $17,850. And after that, you get 1 year of OPT. So I'm gonna go through some of our programs very quickly here, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the structure, give you a visual of what it looks like to complete a certificate with us. So in our bio technology programs. We have clinical trials, design and management, and regulatory affairs. In the business certificate programs, we have business administration, human resource management, marketing management, project program management, procurement, supply chain management, as you can see. And then we list out the number of quarters it takes and the units, tuition, and the recommended start dates. And then I'll just scroll down to design. You have user experience, web design, education. You have a teaching English as a second language or early childhood education. In the tech programs, which are most popular, we have computer programming, database and data analytics, which is the data science program, embedded systems, Linux, programming and administration, software engineering, quality, VLSI engineering. And so the tuition prices for our tech programs are very similar, roughly the same. And with all the programs, you'll get 30 units. But you don't actually need 30 units to complete a certificate. So I'll get into that next. So to complete a certificate, you just need 14 to 17 credits total. However, to maintain your status, you need to double that up. So that's why secondary courses are offered to international students to help maintain their status. And it's an opportunity then to stack certificates or a certificate with a specialization. So this is a visualization of what that looks like. If you start with your certificate, you can take any courses to meet your certificate requirement in the first quarter or the first term. You can even do an unpaid internship, which will provide you 2 extra units. And then you can do a secondary certificate. So for example, a lot of our students like to do data science and computer programming together. And that'll fulfill the requirements both for the international program and the 2 certificates as well. And so in the second term, then you just continue with your courses. You get 12 units for term 1, 12 units for term 2. And then in term 3, you can do a reduced course load. So you don't have to go full-time to class or to attend school. And you use some of that time then to job search and to look for OPT. So after completing those 3 terms, which is 9 months of study, you receive 12 months of OPT at our institution or in the US. Okay. So just to give you guys an idea of some of our instructors, we have Alan Suda, who teaches in our business management program with 15 years of experience as a consultant in the tech and corporate training. Irv Kalb works in our technology field. He is the author of Learn to Program with Python, a step-to-step guide to programming, 10 years of experience in development of educational software. Genti Vendurtig is our supply chain management instructor. And she has 17 years of overseeing a 2.5 billion annual budget at her company. So a lot of our instructors, again, are employed in the region, and a lot of students like to network with them, make contacts, and oftentimes, or not often, but sometimes our instructors will employ a lot of our students as well and help them find jobs at their companies. So with our program, there's also an internship to do an unpaid internship program as well, which will further secure your abilities to get an OPT position. And so some of our students have gotten internships with the companies here on the left. These are companies which we work with very closely. A lot of them are startups to provide students with this internship opportunity. we'll often reach out to the companies and provide them a number of resumes and say, hey, we have some students who are really interested in doing an internship with you guys and making observations just to see what the work looks like, and then write up assignments for the internship program at UCSC Extension. Okay. So I think I want to talk a little bit more about OPT, and then I'll get into this academic calendar. With OPT, roughly 95% of our students stay in Silicon Valley, and then 5% will venture out to other states or other parts of California to do an intern or to do their OPT. A vast majority of them will find work in Silicon Valley because the hunger for talent is so strong there that it's not very challenging to find a job in Silicon Valley. So Silicon Valley is plentiful in its jobs. So if you would like to start with us, then these are our quarter calendar dates. Winter is January 1st through March. Spring is April 1st through June 15th. Summer just started at June 16th through August 31st. And our fall quarter will begin September 1st through December 31st. Fall is going to be open for in-person courses. You can speak to our international advisor if you'd like to learn more. They can provide you more information about which courses will be in person, which will be online, and which will be hybrid. All right, so that's pretty much the presentation. Thank you so much. My name again is Lali Yang. You can email me at alyang@ucsc.edu. Oops, sorry, alyang73. There should be a number 73 there. And then better yet, you can email extensioninternational@ucsc.edu. All right.
Great, thank you, Lali, for a brilliant presentation. We do have a few questions here for what I can see. So let's kickstart the questions. How high a level of English will I need, and can I study English there?
Yep. So we have a partnership with the language school in the area, which we can do a referral. The English needed to study is an IBT TOEFL of 70, and that works for any of our programs. And I think it's an IELTS 6.0. And then we just double check that. So this is our website. Please do visit it. I'll find. Let's see here. It doesn't say. I know it's somewhere, but yes, roughly 70 for IBT TOEFL.
Okay, brilliant. And I'll make sure that people, get a link to your website afterwards. The next question, do you offer any scholarships? If so, how can I apply?
So we have a lot of promotions where students can receive discounts. For the fall, there's going to be a promotion as well. It's probably going to be about 10%. So you can look out for that. Sometimes we do a 25% discount. But in terms of scholarships, we don't have any at the moment.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for the answer. The next question, can I stay in the USA to work after my degree?
Can you repeat that question?
Can I stay in the USA after my degree is finished?
Yes. So you will receive 1 year of OPT. You have to find a job in the US, but you receive that opportunity after you complete the certificate program. The certificate program is 9 months.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Are there any options to work alongside studying?
There are options for unpaid internships, but generally you're not allowed to work while you're studying. But the nice thing with certificates is that it's only 9 months. And so you don't, with a master's degree, then you're not really eligible for work authorization until after about 6 months. But with a certificate, you just do 9 months and you can get a real job full time and start making money.
Okay, great. Does the university help with any accommodation advice before coming to the USA?
Yep. So if you're really interested, you can just contact us and we can provide you some more accommodation information. That accommodation is also provided on the website. We also work closely with a couple of vendors in the Bay Area who really take care of students and their accommodation needs from A to Z. They really help them out quite a bit. There's a lot of counseling and they're good counselors. The Bay Area is traditionally very challenging to find accommodation, which especially for universities. And so dormitory at the universities is very, very limited. And that's all across the Bay. At Stanford, Berkeley, or any other institution, it's going to be the same.
Okay, thanks for the answer. Can I start the program in any of the 3 quarters?
Yes, so you can start any 3 quarters. You just want to make sure that you have enough time for the move and the interview, the whole visa process. That's generally about I would say 4 months is a good time frame.
Do you offer any visa advice?
Is there any specific visa?
It just says, do you offer visa advice for international
Uh,
students?
so our advisors will help you go through the visa process. So you don't, if there are any questions or concerns, they can address it for sure.
Awesome. And could you maybe go back to the slide of tuition fees and how much they are? I think there's a question of how much are the tuition fees.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's great. You can always remember this will be sent to you on the next day in an email, so you can always pause to take notes and things the very next day. Do you have any summer programs?
Yep. So these programs run through the summer. We're also working on some other summer programs too within the bachelor degree and master degree programs as well.
So what kind of extracurricular activities do you hold there, and can you in the midst of COVID?
It's pretty challenging for extracurricular activities, but we do host some virtual happy hours for international students, and in their student and community development course, they do meet and they do try to bring the students together. But right now, business is open for the business operations are open in California for the most part, and so people are getting back out and doing stuff and meeting and etc. So I think there's definitely a lot to do.
Okay, great. There's a kind of a 2-part question here. So, is it possible to study part-time, and would I be able to participate in research projects?
So for the first 6 months, it's not possible to study part-time. You'll be expected to do at least 12 units per quarter, but that's not too heavy of a workload. A lot of the students have plenty of time to do other things. Their classes only meet maybe once or twice a week. And so if you're taking 4 classes, then you've got 4 classes that you have to go to for an entire week, and then you have to do homework, etc. But in the last quarter, majority of our students will only do 3 to 6 units, so that's only 1 or 2 classes. So that last 3 months, you have a lot of time then to apply for jobs, and we also provide a lot of workshops and help with resume writing, interviewing, and applying for jobs.
Okay, great. And would I be able to participate in any research projects?
Yeah, whatever research projects you have in mind, and some classes do expect research projects to be um, as part of your course. So there's opportunity.
Okay, great. Are there networking opportunities?
Yep. So we host a lot of networking events, so you can meet potential employers, but also you can network with your classmates and with your instructors, because again, your instructors are not just professors who teach. Oftentimes, they are professionals in the industry, in the field.
Awesome. Thank you. And is it possible to study online from another country for some months? So say that you study in the US for the rest of the time, but you're at home studying in terms of like COVID now.
Yeah. So it's a little bit challenging. You wouldn't be a part of the international program, but you can take these courses on your own. You just have to visit our website. Whatever class you're interested, you could sign up, but you want to be careful with the time difference. A lot of our classes are live online, and so I don't know if you're in China, then the time difference is going to be pretty
Big.
extensive.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So you'll want to be cautious of that time difference.
So are you guys open now for classes on campus?
Yes. So there are a couple courses already open for the summer, and then we're expected to open a lot more courses in the fall. And so the university's aim is all in-person classes, or a vast majority. But for us, we'll try to keep a couple of options open. So we'll do a hybrid, in-person, and online.
Okay, and I think someone wants us to clarify your answer before about work. Did I get it right that it is not allowed to work while doing the certificate program, even if I don't work in the US? So, like, say they work online, but for a different
Uh,
country.
no, I think that's fine. Yeah, if you're working for in your own country and it's remote work, but you're located in the U.S., there's no issue. You can't work for a U.S. local company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. And we're coming up to the last question now. Thank you guys. It's been very interesting Q&A. I read that I have a total of 5 years to complete all necessary courses in a certificate program. How does that work in terms of the fees and the visa status?
Um, I'm not quite sure where the 5 years came from.
I'm not sure. It just said they've read that it should be 5 years.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, so the certificates are only 9 months and then
Okay.
a year OPT. So you'll get 2 years total to be to complete the entire program. Some students though will do another certificate after their first one. And sometimes they'll go, even 3 rounds of doing certificates, but you only get 1 year OPT um, for completing a certificate. If you do a second or a third, you don't get any more OPT.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, and we've got actually one more question that's just popped up. Let's go through it from Mariana. Can I study a master's degree after a certificate program?
Yes, it's a little tricky in the sense that sometimes the um, the short answer is yes, but it affects your OPT. So you only get OPT for one of those. So
I
if you do
see.
and then you go right into your master's, you don't do OPT, then you can do your OPT after your master's. Or you do the certificate, OPT, master's, no more OPT.
Okay, and there is one more question, I promise. The
Oh, no
end.
worries.
Is it possible to book only courses without attending the certificate program online?
Is it possible to attend?
Is it possible to book only courses? I think I mean online courses without attending the certificate program.
So you need to have at least, the current regulations are that international students have to have at least one course in person. Yeah, so
Okay.
not possible to do in all your classes online, unless you're in a different country. But if you're in the US, then you have to have at least one course that's in person each quarter.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think we've come to the end of the Q&A. I don't know if you want to get your contact information back up, Lally, so that in case anyone wants to drop you a message. A reminder that this is being recorded. We will be sending this to you tomorrow in an email. So you can always take notes and feel free to email the email at the screen right now. Any last words, Lally, before we clock off?
I apologize with the email here again. This is not the correct email. It's going to be lyang73, the number 3. So lyang73@ucsc.edu. But preferably, if you want, please email extensioninternational@ucsc.edu with any of the questions that you might have.
Okay, awesome. Brilliant. Thank you guys for your questions. And thank you, Lally, for a great presentation. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to either us or Lally and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, please do head over to viva-mondo.com and sign up to our newsletter if you want any more information about travel abroad. Okay, have a great day, and guys, girls everywhere, have a good evening wherever you are. All right. Goodbye from me.
You.